Hey podcast listeners, Gossip Grid here, your guide to F1's paddock elites.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Gossip Grid, and boy oh boy do we have a jam-packed segment for you this week. Pop culture is overflowing everywhere in F1, and I'm here to tell you everything about it. First off, Taylor Swift kicked off the Eras Tour this week with 44 songs. She's a Lewis Hamilton fan. Next, okay.
Wasn't Midnight's like 44 minutes long or something?
Midnight is also 44 minutes long and was released the weekend of Coda. You were so right, I didn't put that together right now. This is a live reaction. Taylor Swift is a Lewis Hamilton fan, and I will not do anything different.
That's my headcanon.
And it's 44 minutes without the 3 a.m. edition. Don't tell me that it's otherwise. Trust me, I know. Okay. We had Will.i.am was in Saudi Arabia, and they actually had to vacate, drivers and team members had to vacate the track early because Will.i.am was filming a music video on the Saudi Arabian track. Really wild, and Saudi Arabia used him, the GP used him to promote the race, so we'll be excited to see whenever that music video comes out. There was a lot of talk last week on the internet with Cristiano Ronaldo, and that he's absolutely required to attend the Saudi Arabian GP since he's moved to a Middle Eastern club team and was getting paid £173 million per year. That part of that insane contract was he has to attend the race. Well, not true. He did not attend the race. But he is an F1 fan. We've seen him at the Monaco GP, and he's visited the Ferrari factory with Carlos and Charles. But this clause was not real because he literally was not there this past weekend. But who was there? Lots of celebrities, lots of people performed. But Will Smith was as close as you could possibly get to a car without driving it. He absolutely loves Lewis. He, quote, "Lewis is my guy. Lewis is my man." During Martin Brundle's grid walk, a very different grid walk than our grid walk, but Martin Brundle walked up to Will Smith and was able to ask him one question and was really curious of, have you been asked to be in the new, Brad Pitt F1 movie that's being produced by Lewis? Will Smith very humbly said that he had not been asked yet, but he hasn't been told no either. And of course then made a big joke about how he needs to get rid of his gut to fit into the car. So it will be interesting to see who ultimately gets cast in that movie. Hasn't started filming yet, will be later this year. No casting has been announced yet, but know that I will share as soon as it does. Yesterday on the Roscoe Loves Coco, so if you don't know who Roscoe is, first off, he's the biggest star of Formula One. He is Lewis Hamilton's dog, and we love him. He's so adorable, he's so cute. On his Instagram yesterday was shared a Be Real photo where, Roscoe posted, on Instagram and did not crop out the username on the end of the Be Real. It is at Roscoe Pup if you want to attempt to request it. But I did, and it said too many pending requests. So me and Roscoe, aka Lewis, can't be friends just yet on Be Real.
I have a lot of questions about this post, coming from someone who's apparently a boomer and has never used Be Real. I thought the whole thing with Be Real is that you're taking a photo of you and what's in front of you. So I'm confused and thought Lewis pulled a template and put like a photo in each one, because how do you have Roscoe in both photos? He can't be in both places at the same time. Help, please.
Again, as someone that used Be Real for maybe like a second, but because I just was peer pressured and wanted to try it out, there's like a delay, so you can, when you take a picture, it takes it one way, and then you can like move and it takes it the other way. I'm unsure if it's the selfie first, the other one first, but like there's a way that you can be in both. So basically, how I imagine this whole thing is Lewis is sitting in his car, takes a picture of Roscoe, and then moves so that it's a selfie of him and his dog, and then he saves it, posts it on Instagram, and then either tried to crop the username but didn't. But Be Real also doesn't give you any contact information. You can't even go on a profile.
Right.
So, but I am taking this as confirmation that Lewis runs the Roscoe Instagram account.
Will be my headcanon until someone physically tells me otherwise. I imagine Lewis sitting there in the Mercedes garage going, "Ooh, let's post the photo of my dog for the day," because that's what I want to think, and I will live in that state.
Want to work with Dad today. Da, da, da.
Right. It is it is the one thing about Lewis Hamilton that I could say is like a very normal, like geeky thing to do. Like most of Lewis Hamilton is like ethereal, like how are you a person on this earth? But the mental image of him running his dog's Instagram account makes him human, and it's needed.
So human. Oh my god. Speaking of Lewis, recently they had the Mission 44, which is his foundation, an inaugural dinner for Mission 44. Not an important part of the story about the dinner, but Lewis Hamilton is an outfit repeater, which is huge and makes him more human. He wore actually one of his Bahrain GP paddock outfits to this dinner. My personal favorite's an all red fit, and it's beautiful. But the important part of this, the Mission 44 dinner, so they came all together. It was a large organization. He was there with his parents and his stepmom, and it didn't really seem like there was other big name celebrities there because everybody else there was like an advocate for a greater, bigger cause. And they shared a video about the dinner, and it was all talking about what they've achieved, what they hope to be doing in the future. They literally, their slogan, reimagining the future. There were speeches from several different advocates, so many women. I love that, and you can always count on Lewis for that representation. It was a British poet. I apologize, I tried to pronounce this, I'm forgetting how to pronounce this correctly. His name was Niall Speaks. He's a big famous British poet, and then another British singer, Will.i.am, maybe one of those two, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, performed. And it was just a really wonderful moment of recognizing artists and recognizing advocates. So shout out to Mission 44 for doing wonderful, great work. Netflix yesterday announced they announced the casting of Senna for the Senna Netflix miniseries that they announced back in 2020. Yesterday would have been Senna's 63rd birthday. So the Brazilian actor that would be playing him is Gabriel Leon. He's very well known in Brazil. And he is nationally known for being in a telenovela called Hidden Truths. And then he was also the lead of the first original Amazon Prime video show that took place and produced in Brazil. This show is going to be a 6-episode mini-series. And unfortunately, it was originally announced as 8 episodes. We've lost 2 episodes, but any kind of insight on Senna, I'm really excited to see, especially because it's being produced with the blessing and participation of his entire family. His sister was really excited about the casting of Gabriel as Senna to play him. The filmmaker and the showrunner is also a Brazilian director, and he basically just came out and said not only is he making a series about an F1 legend, but a Brazilian hero. We're going to see a lot about Senna on track, but what I'm excited about is to see the investment of his relationships off track. It's a huge, huge project for Netflix. Brazil is currently one of their biggest booming markets, so it makes unbelievable sense they're doing this about Senna. Filming hasn't started yet, and there's no word on the release date yet, speculated 2024, so sadly we have to wait. We also got a lovely story from GP Racing Magazine. Valtteri Bottas bears all. The naked truth, literally. The article is titled Badass Bottas because we see his butt. Not the first time we've seen his butt, but first time I guess we've seen it in print. I don't know what the article's about because you have to buy the magazine, but I can tell you I've seen the photos.
How many times? I think it's become his thing. I like that he embraces that his thing. That it's like, right, I'm just gonna be naked everywhere. And we're like, all right, Valtteri, you do that. It led me down a train of thought that the ESPN body issue first needs to come back. And if it does, what F1 driver would be in the body issue? Because F1 has become like a big mainstream, heavily talked about American thing now. So I could see the producers of the body issue sitting there being like, we have to get an F1 driver. I understand that Valtteri would be like, yeah, sure, I'm in, I'm doing that. But I don't think he's a big enough star. So like, who do you think? Like, I just like going down this train of thought of like, what wild thing would happen? Like, would Lewis be in the body issue?
He's the answer.
Right.
He's the answer only from the superficial space of he's a star, has the physical, like, toned physique that works for the body issue. And I'm saying this not trying to like shame anybody else. I'm just going by the brand of the ESPN body issue is that Lewis has that big name brand star and everything. And I also just don't think Max would do it, is the other piece of this.
Yeah.
I think Max would say no. It's not that I don't think I think ESPN would love to have Max to be in the body issue. I don't think Max would do it.
It really set my brain down, like, oh my gosh, if the body issue was still here, like, would we be seeing F1 drivers in the ESPN body issue? And I think we would be.
I think we would. It'd be interesting to see who would say yes, because I am also going back, and I don't know if Lewis would necessarily say yes to it. Valtteri obviously would. I think Daniel Ricciardo would, but I don't know if they would be the picks for the issue.
Right. I wonder if the conversation would be had with Ferrari, because it would be like, oh, it'd be really great to, like, have a Ferrari drive for a part of this, but, like, is that against Ferrari?
Would never.
Yes.
Ferrari would be like, okay, they could do it, but they have to wear a Ferrari suit jacket over everything else. Like, they will not. Oh, man. Well, we'll have to see if ESPN decides to ever bring that back. But maybe maybe someone at ESPN will see this spread and be convinced that they need to bring it back. Exactly. And we will be wrapping up to this week's Gossip Grid with some words from a lovely member of One Direction, Niall Horan. Oh, I am a Harry girl, but I love Niall so very much. Niall Horan was being interviewed with Hits Radio, answering questions from fans, and someone was like, I need to know who his favorite F1 driver is. And no surprise, because we saw him at the French Grand Prix. Niall loves Lewis. He's a big Lewis fanboy. He was fanboying over Lewis. 7 world championships. Loves Lewis. He's great. You can't deny it. He mentions Max, Charles, Carlos, and Perez, and then immediately returns back to Lewis, and then shouts out Mercedes for taking great care of him of the French Grand Prix last year. I would like to notice, Niall was very, very excited to share that he fell in love with Formula One by watching Drive to Survive. And it's so funny, if you read through all the comments, that no one thinks he's less of a fan because he found it through Drive to Survive. And I just thought that was, just a really funny, interesting thing that, I maybe have not seen elsewhere. So it's okay if you're a fan of F1 because of Drive to Survive. Niall Horan is, and he loves Lewis Hamilton. And that's all I got for you this week on Gossip Grid. It was jam-packed. They're really giving us a lot of pop culture, so I'm sure we'll have more for you in the coming weeks. Thanks so much for listening to this segment from episode 9 of Grid Walk. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more F1 videos and silly F1 content that we're posting all of the time, and new full episodes every single week. You made it this far in the video. Watch the rest of the podcast. You're missing so much more fun. So if you like this clip, make sure to go to our channel. You can click here for the full thing. Click right here. You can click right here, and you can hear the whole entire thing. Click it. Thank you.